Yes, hello everyone. We are diving straight into the second video after recording the previous one. And for this video, I am going to dive into how we approach and how we solve the fact that a lot of owners, founders, seniors, whatever you want to call them, within software development businesses are completely the business is founder-led sales. That's not a bad thing, and up until a point it's very much needed, but there is also a point where you want that to end and where you want people to take away as much as possible from the process that you are running. But for that, it is first important to actually know that you are running a process and that you're not doing stuff on a gut feeling and based on, this is how I always done what I do at the moment, essentially. So before we dive in, if you don't know who I am, my name is Sven. I'm the co-founder at Blinked, and we partner with software development companies to make them more money, essentially. That's what we do. End of the day, we do that in a very precisely mapped out framework. We do that by fixing your go-to-market strategies, collecting case studies, creating your value proposition, helping you pick a niche, doing outreach for you, setting up sales processes, coaching you on sales, CEO one-to-one sessions, recruitment support, essentially A to Z growth support. That's what we do. That's what we like to do. That's what we get our energy from. And it's what we do in a proper way. And it's what we are good at. So let's dive in further. Let me minimize this because otherwise I'm taking up too much of the screen. I'm going to twist the knife as soon as we kick off. This should be ever feel like you have no sales strategy or process aside from the stuff that lives within your head. You have a lack of a solidified sales process, lack of control over your sales pipeline, and you want or need to scale sales away from the founder for whatever reason, usually to grow the business to where it needs to get. You should be working as a CEO or a founder, for example, on navigating the business to the mission, the vision, helping the team grow, helping get the best out of people and not do discovery calls, etc. So it all sounds familiar probably for a lot of you, but for today or for this video, that feeling is good because we are going to fix it, or at least I'm going to give you a lot of insights and a lot of hopefully valuable stuff that you are going to take away from this video and implement within your process, or at least think about how you can improve the current process that you are running. So let's dive into this fantastic Miro board. The old way and the new way. What is probably happening at the moment is that, just a brief recap, the process is completely reliant on founders or seniors. You have no way to replicate your results because it's your business. You've been doing this for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, maybe even longer. So yeah, you know how to run stuff. Burnout, you need to do all of the stuff that I mentioned earlier about being a CEO and then also doing sales, mapping out proposals. It's just too much to work on. A lot of people think that only they know their product and service on such a good level that they are the only ones that can actually sell it. And the sales process lives within the head of the founder. The new way, founders or seniors step into the process for the last or the final 20 to 30% instead of the complete A to Z process. Others will be able to get similar results, a systematized process that can live within your business for years, and overall better performance across the board, so more money made. Current process probably looks a little like this. There is a first point of contact, and that's also to do because a lot of businesses haven't done outbound in the past. They just rely on network, referrals, etc. So the sales process is vastly different than doing outbound and taking control of your new business. So there's a first point of contact. You have your proposal, follow-up, 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 follow-up. Follow-ups land is what we like to call this. And then it's now is not the time, we don't have the money, it looks great, but no thanks. This is usually what a lot of stuff, and of course deals close as well, but Majority of the processes that we come along look something like this. New process, and there are a few principles that are important to outline, which is that you need to have a validated product. If even the founder wasn't able to sell it in the past, then there's no way that you are going to hand off this process, and you shouldn't even want to. There's a need. If there is literally zero need to step out, then don't do so. Like, start prepping for stepping out, but again, and this ties into the last one, don't step out too soon if there is no need. Or like, of course, it could be that you don't really like doing sales, but with running a business, there comes stuff that you need to do that you don't like to do. And if you're not completely occupied in terms of time, etc., and if you don't have other high leverage stuff to work on, then don't step out. So, new process, we have like a starting point, or this is not like the same process as the sales process, but you need to fix a lot of stuff to be able to remove sales from the founder. So this is the process that we go through: positioning an offer, doing outbound, pre-sales, sales, after sales, scaling, and money in the bank, because that is the end goal. Then we have a very beautiful, very beautiful drawings down here. So what we do, I think it's good to give some insights into why you need to do so much more and stuff like positioning an offer, instead of just like some small tweaks that will enable the founders to step out. Why we do that is because a lot of stuff, like the success of your sales, for a very big portion depends on how well your offer is defined, how well do you know who to sell to, how well do you know the problems of the people that you are selling to. So what is your overall positioning? Then stuff like how much like time of contact do they have with the business, with the people within the business, how much of your like case studies have they seen, how much of your behind the scenes stuff have they seen, how do you actually do your sales, so are you doing sales in a proper way, fixing that if needed, your after sales process, so what do you do when you finish the sales call, and then how do you take that and turn that into a process and a framework that someone else can replicate. So essentially that's like a brief overview of all of the stuff that you need to fix. It's not that you can just say like, hey, this week I'm going to do like a few hours of training with someone else within the company, and they'll be able to, because I told them how I do it, they'll be able to take away what I do, because you are not going to find a single person on earth that has the same like passion and knowledge about your business, because you have been like living and breathing your business for the past 5, 10, 15, 20, maybe even longer years. So it's not doable to find someone else like that, or you should have someone within the business that was with you for as long as that and was on a high level like within the business. Otherwise, that's going to be very difficult. So we need to stack the cards in our favor and make it as easy as possible. So for positioning, because I'll run through this not quickly, but I don't want to make this into a 30-minute video. Positioning an offer, what happens at the moment, software development is so commoditized. Like you have all of the like national companies that you compete with, then you have your overseas dev shop, then you have all of the shitty scammers, then like, it is commoditized. So this is probably currently what you look like. So everyone is doing software development. We create web apps. We do web dev. We do this. We develop software. We are a software development agency, or whatever everyone likes to call them as of now. And you look like every other software development business on the planet. So that's something that you need to fix. How are we going to do that? By picking a niche, looking at the outcomes and transformations that you have like realized for your clients, essentially. That will allow you to stand out, and that will allow you to charge more. So what we mean by that is we are going to have a look at the actual data that's there, and not like niche down or funnel down based on a gut feeling, or I think we like to do this. We are actually going to look at the data. So what kind of projects have you worked on? What kind of people did you work with? What was the main point of contact? What was the profit per project? Did the team like working on a project? Would you like this project? Would you like to do this project again? Like a lot of stuff we run through a lot of stuff to get good insights into, okay, what kind of projects do you like working on, and what kind of projects do you make like your business the most money, essentially. Because of course you could have projects that you like working on, but all of them are low profit, and you could have very high profit ones, but no one likes to work on them. Then we need to find like the stuff that's in the middle, essentially. And we do that based on the data that we collect. And we do interview methods with actual prospects. We have videos online on that as well. We do market research. We have all of the insights of working and speaking with software development business owners. And yeah, you just need to move away from being that typical software development company. So what is then going to happen is that you position yourself in a different way. And of course, the target market that you can reach out to shrinks probably by a lot, because as of now, you're doing everything for everyone. That's probably causing, in a lot of cases, problems with delivery, because every project is vastly different, and like you need to redo strategies and ramp up the team every time again and again. So what we are going to do is take away the data that we collected here and then put together a proposition. So the target market will shrink. So you might go from 100K businesses to 10K businesses. But those 10K businesses are your like actual dream clients. This is what you would die for, essentially, because these people, you know that you can help them, you know that they have money, you know that they have a problem that they are actually like wanting to solve. So you get a much more concrete like proposition and people to work with, instead of, okay, we can target 100K businesses, but overall some people might have some form of interest, but we just don't know anything about our clients. So you could go from, we develop software for everyone on earth, to, okay, we create like sales and CRM solutions for, I don't know, internationally operating manufacturing companies. So that's quite specific, but that is then your dream client. And I don't really even have to do a deep dive into, if you were that client, then who would you choose to work with? Would that be the company that specializes in doing that, or the company that does everything for everyone? I think that answers everything related to positioning an offer. You are then like specialized in helping that type of business solve that type of problem. So you can charge more because you probably have social proof on doing that. You collect your quantifiable outcomes. There's just so much benefits to doing that. So I think that answers the question to this specific thing. Then we are going to do outbound, because of course, like how much with, for example, the interview method, we collect data directly from prospects, but it's still like not entirely, but you still have some assumptions within here, and we need to validate those assumptions. So what we are going to do is, essentially you have offers that you plug into your outbound, and within there you leverage your case studies, you target your ICP, you provide value assets, and we have a lot of videos online on doing value assets as well. But overall, you are going to plug like these types of offers, and I just mapped out a different few, but you are going to plug these within your outreach. And this is not the actual stuff. This doesn't relate back to the example that I just gave you. But what we do is, I had to pause the video for a second, but what we do is plug these offers into here, and that could be, okay, we're doing web dev, then you're going to test that, so that is what your business does. Then you're going to test that you're going to put that in front of your ideal clients, essentially, to see, and you do that in like a lot of different ways, because you have different angles. You have one offer, and then you have different angles of that offer. So for example, if we partner with a software development company and we do that successfully, we like increase their overall business in all aspects, then we have the angle of we made them more money. We have the angle of we reduced their sales process. Then we have the angle of we freed up their CEO to work on different stuff. We have the angle of, okay, they actually know who to sell to, which is not like on its own quantifiable, but so valuable essentially. So there's a lot of different angles to doing one thing. So it could be web dev. No, that's not it. You tested all of the angles, but you shouldn't like changing your niche is the last thing that you should do. If you pick something, then stick with it. And every niche works, but you didn't spend enough time to make it successful, essentially. Of course, like you shouldn't go work with like physical newspaper companies because they are a dying breed, essentially. So, like, okay, I might have lied there. Not every niche will work. Every niche could work, but some niches are more profitable and easier to work with than others. Then plug a different offer into there, test all of the angles. Could be that it's not it, different offer, not it, and then you come across your winning offer, because you should test like different offers, different angles to your ideal client, because what you should do is pick a niche, get insights into what kind of problems are they struggling with, and then build your proposition around that, instead of building your proposition and trying to find a target audience that matches that offer, because that's like the wrong way to do it, because you need to sell before you build. That's take that away as a very important thing. All right, so I think that kind of outlines the principles of doing successful outreach. Then what we are going to do from there on is dive into a probably very different sales process, because for a lot of companies their current process looks kind of like this. We are going to do that differently. So you're testing your offer, putting that in front of your ideal clients via, for example, email. So that is the awareness stage, where you have a touch point. That could be cold call, cold email, LinkedIn message, inbound marketing, referrals. And instead of immediately like having that initial meeting and then pitching them or sending them a proposal, we are going to build trust and authority on autopilot and preempt possible objections or frequently asked questions, or answer frequently asked questions. How we are going to do that is by leveraging a lot of content. People need to, on average, there's like a 7-hour rule. It came from a book, but I don't know if I can recall the book at the moment. But there is a very well respected marketing book out there that states like, okay, people on average need a minimum of 7 hours of contact time with you, your business, your proposition, seeing like your business as a whole, to get to a level where they feel comfortable enough to actually buy from you. So if you need to, and that's usually what happens right now, the founder does that all on its own. Like those 7 hours or maybe even more, it's all done by the founder himself, which is of course very time taking. And that is also why a lot of the founders can't step away from that process, because if you have 3 or 4 prospects at the same time that you are working on, that's a shit ton of work. So we leverage stuff like a sales letter, mini sales deck, case study documents, case study videos, other learning materials, YouTube videos, video sales letters, etc., to like build that trust and that authority with people without the founder actually having to be there. You record videos like this, for example. You can record videos of going over strategies. You can do a lot of content. You can jump on podcasts, you can make written LinkedIn content. Like there's a lot of stuff that you can do where you can show who you are, what you do, who you help, show your personality, show your skills, your expertise and whatever, instead of physically having to speak to someone. Of course, there's a place and a time for actually doing that, but you should take as much of that workload away and try to do it in a different way. So from there on, these will build like all of the mode around, okay, this is what we do and this is who we help. And based on this, people will disqualify themselves if they are not a fit for your business and your proposition, essentially. On the other hand, if people are a fit, then they keep on pre-warming themselves by viewing more of your content and speaking to you via a video, for example. And from there, like I always use like the analogy of having like a thermometer, and like people start at 0, like the top is 100%. Can I draw that out? I think maybe I even have it within, no, I haven't done that before in this document. So you have something like this, dirty minds, don't do it. Then you have something like this, and this is like 0 degrees, and then you have all the way up top. So people start here. What happens is that you have, okay, first initial touch point could be an email. They think, this is a good email. I resonate with the stuff that's in there. So they might go from 0 to over here, like close to 10, for example. Then you send a value asset, something that we leverage a lot. Okay, that looks very good to them. So they might go from 10 to, 17. Then after that, you give them a call, you speak to them, you're like, hey, what are your thoughts on the stuff that I shared? Yeah, very good. Have like a 5-minute conversation. Then they go from 17 to 25, for example. Then, based on that, for example, on a phone call, or you keep an eye out on their LinkedIn, you see, hey, I'm actively recruiting. Then you're like, do I have some sort of case study on recruitment? Did I do anything within recruitment? Did I ever provide value related back to recruitment? Okay, you share that. They're like, hey, they're thinking about me. They are trying to provide value where we can. So you jump from 25 to, let's say, 35. Then they're like, okay, I think it's very interesting to speak to this business. And you have your discovery call. Then you jump from 35 to 50. Is it somewhere over here? Yeah, this is just 50. All right, discovery call. Again, you speak to them. You show your competency. You show how good you are at what you do. And they jump after that. If you haven't like disqualified them, they jump from 50 to, let's say, 65 or 70, something like that. Okay, then you schedule in a sales call. And on that sales call, you make a very detailed thing for them, a strategy, a plan, whatever. Don't just throw out a proposal, but actually like think about, okay, what would be valuable to me? And what I'm going to show to the prospect, is that valuable to them? Yes or no? And then from there on, they might jump if they all still like what they see, and if you've done your job correctly, and if you align the stuff that you sell to the goals that they want to achieve, they might jump from like 75, 60 to 85. From there on, you are sort of in the safe zone essentially, and then it's just a case of not fucking it up and like having more meetings, doing more stuff, etc., etc. So then you are going to get close to 100. I've kind of outlined like the overall process that we implement, and then I kind of outlined all of this stuff within the thermometer that I showed over here. So you still have like, for example, a killer proposal framework, that is the aligning your sales thing or the stuff that you sell to their actual goals, speaking to multiple stakeholders. Have attention right now, because this is something valuable. What usually happens is that people speak to the wrong people. They speak to a non-decision maker or someone that doesn't sign the contract. What usually happens is they pitch to them, and that person needs to go ahead and within their own company pitch to their boss. Like they need to give your pitch to their boss, CEO, whatever, and then it will lose all of its power essentially, because they don't have the same passion, same insight, same knowledge. So what you do is create, like, if you speak to someone that's a non-decision maker, firstly, you need to find that out in the discovery call. But secondly, if that happens, then you are going to record a video going over the process and like the proposal on its own, and send that to the person that does sign the contract. So then you have face-to-face time with the video, and the other person is not responsible for selling your solution. Very big key takeaway. The last part is just like I mentioned, if you're in that sweet spot, then like you shouldn't need to do like hard selling or use fancy sales tactics or whatever. You should be able to just do a logical close, and everyone at that moment should be like, okay, we want to work together. So that's kind of I wouldn't call it a high level overview. I mentioned I don't want to make this into a 30 minute video. but we're getting close. But I'm running up here. I think this outlines, the entire process in a very good way. I think there's definitely stuff in here that you can take away, probably mostly within this thing. If you want any more insights on how we implement this for clients, how we think of certain stuff, how you could implement specific things, feel free to reach out. You know where to find me. And I'd be looking forward to chatting with you. If not, I am looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you.